I don't know why, but this is like the only thing in my mind that for some reason deep down there's this sort of like, say it. Just say it, Alex. Just give this one step by step. Maybe it helps somebody. I don't know. It's like the one thing in my mind, so I'm going to share it. And this is going to be a quick crash course, like a 101 into how to forgive somebody. Oftentimes, at least for me, throughout my life, I would hear elders say, you know, if you could just, forgive so and so, you're gonna feel better. So just forgive them. And you're like, what? What do you mean? Just like forgive? Like what? Like how the fuck do you do that? You know? Oh well, like you just gotta get over. It. You just gotta forgive. And I'm like, again, what? What, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm pissed. I'm angry. I'm like, that one person, that one other person, this other person, they've done don 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 don, but it's for you. It's for you. It's like it doesn't matter whether who the fuck it is for. I don't know how the fuck to just go about play make believe. Oh, I forgive you, but not really mean it. That's the thing. How do you like do it and mean it in a way that it feels like you really mean it? Regardless of whether it makes sense to, regardless of the fact that yes, once you do it, you do feel better. It isn't even so much for them, anyways. But getting over that hump, I think I got. I think I have a step by step for this. Rather than just saying, "Hey, forgive somebody because you're gonna feel better," which is true because I've experienced this for myself. Here goes a quick step by step. This is the one thing that's in the back of my mind. Like I just finished eating and I'm over here thinking, what do I say? You know what? That's that one thing that helped me not too long ago. So, I guess here we go. I've never like outright shared this. I guess I've told one or two other people, but at the time, they either dismissed the idea outright or didn't make any sense to them, or like it made enough sense to them, but they were probably like stuck in the whole thing. But you don't understand my specific scenario. In my scenario, I can't do that because that's just too much. I'm like, it's either try it out, or the alternative is you stay like fucking, marinating in hatred. I mean, what's it gonna be? The way I see it, all right. If this sounds dismissive, once again, how is the alternative working out for you right now? Just think about it. Well, step one, like think of somebody that like is quite literally living rent free in your head because you can't get past whatever they've done. Right now, I'm gonna literally say I don't care what they've done. Whatever they've done, I don't say it dismissively. I just say it from a like, hey, I think this will work for all scenarios. I don't know that for a fact. Give it a shot, right? Think of somebody that lives rent free in your head that you don't like, right? So think of a candidate for this, right? All right, so now step two. This is the tricky part. See if you can find yourself, not when you're agitated, but more relaxed. When you really relax, go find yourself, lay down on a couch or something. And I say that because when this happened to me, I was laying down on a couch. So I was like half laying down, like my torso was like more uprighty-ish. So like okay. So I was leaning like this much. Hold on, check this out. Like yay much. So like I was in a couch. I was in a couch, very comfortable couch. And in this couch, I had the leg part up, so I was very comfortable, very relaxed. And for clarity's sake, I was slightly under the influence, but not to the point where I was blacking out. Just enough where I was like, okay, I'm slightly under the influence. All right, I could still walk, basically. If I wanted to, I could still drive. But anyways, besides the point, this is the part that is the hardest to do. It's also the easiest once you do it like the first time. Like that, it's both the hardest and the easiest. Try to literally imagine in your head being born as that person. So like, it's the idea of like put yourself in somebody else's shoes, but we're gonna take that shit back all the way back to birth. Like imagine you being that person from fucking birth. All right. Now, based on whatever little you may or all the information that you may know about them, try your best to steel man their life. So what I mean by steel man is the opposite of a straw man. And if you're wondering what a straw man is, a straw man is when like somebody takes an argument or a statement and then like reframes it in such a way where it's easier to knock down. So steel man is somewhat of the opposite. It's more like you hear somebody give an argument or a statement, and then you take that statement and then you try to like almost reinforce it even more so in favor of them. I'm not sure if that's making sense. So like maybe if I say it in a different way here. So okay, all right. I think this is like very exaggerated, but for example, a straw man, right? I might say that, hey, did you know that Adolf Hitler, he was actually he had a very good policy or way of thinking about dogs. I believe that he so-called passed some laws that were like in favor of dogs. I heard it's something like that. It's something about animals. The guy liked animals or some kind of animal. If somebody were to then say, "Oh, so you're a you're a Hitler supporter," it's like, no. I just said that there's this thing about dogs, and for some reason he just like dogs. So a straw man is like you're taking one thing, you're kind of like twisting it just enough for whatever illogical reason. 'Cause that's what it is. But whatever. If you don't agree that it's illogical, fine. Don't give a fuck. Anyways, whereas with a steel man, right? I might give that whole statement about hey how Adolf Hitler liked the dog or whatever and passed some laws in favor of like I don't know whatever animal protection it was. And then you come out the woodworks and you say something to the effect of, so what you're saying is that overall, despite the fact that Adolf Hitler made some poor choices, you at least recognize that for whatever reason, he had a much more positive, beneficial things towards dogs. Is that what you're saying? I might then say, yeah, that's pretty much what I just said. Something to that effect. Anyways, the reason I'm bringing up this example has nothing to do with fucking Adolf Hitler. I'm bringing that up just for exaggeration purposes. I'm bringing that up as you imagine yourself as that person, the target person we're trying to get to, like, get past, right? Forgive them so that we can get past the trauma or whatever, right? Tricky part is imagining yourself as them on their side of the house. There's going to be a massive temptation to imagine yourself as them, but with your own like pain kind of trying to jam it in there. Like, all right, I'm imagining myself as them, but why couldn't you just do this thing differently? It's like, no, stop. You're fucking it up. You're strawmanning the fucking visualization. You cannot. If you strawman the damn thing, it's fucking pointless. You gotta steel man it, and that's the hard part, because the goal is to imagine yourself as them, like them, with as little as your own thought as you can like get out, like decontaminate this visualization. That's the hard part, because all of this visualization is happening ultimately in your head. All those memories, all that pain that you felt because of said person, they're in the very place that you're trying to run this visualization. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the first time I did this, for the first 30 seconds, it was the most uncomfortably cringy feeling in the world for me to be like imagining myself as those people. Like in this instance, like my dad and my mom, right? Like, Fuck. All right, put this back. It was so uncomfortable. Yet, because I was somehow able to just stick it through just long enough into the visualization, by the time that in my own head, right, fast forwarded the clock from birth through their own childhood, through their adolescence, through adulthood, to then me being born, right? So now I'll literally imagine their entire lifetime of everything that may have happened to them that would have led them to the kind of thinking, to the kind of action taking or inaction taking that I felt impacted me, right? That by the time in the visualization I got to the memories where like they're doing something that felt traumatic to me, right? As I'm visualizing this and as I'm like quite literally like doing whatever onto like my own version. So in this instance, right? Say that I fast forwarded to about 35-year-old version of my dad, and I do one of these in the visualization. I do bah to like little Alex, which is in this instance me. Bah. I got to a point, and so at that very point in the visualization, the very thought. This was the thought that was like the hardest slash boom easiest once I broke through. And it goes like this. In my own head, as I'm doing this visualization, I thought to myself, you know, I could see how that action, how that built up over time, and how that led to that moment at that point in time. And if I was, quote, in his shoes, I think I would have done the same thing. I'm not justifying, I'm not rationalizing, but I can see how he got there. And in me having that thought, I can see how you can get there. I don't agree with it, I don't endorse it, but I can see how you get there. It creates this sense of like, oh, okay, I understand. Once again, not endorsing, not saying, hey, you're good to go, but a sense of, okay, I can see that. But that very moment where I say, okay, I can see that is the very moment in where, like, when I was doing this, I literally felt this weight come off just from that thought alone, just from me being able to run this as vivid as I can. Because at the end of the day, I don't really know what, you know, the life of another individual really was like growing up. I'm going off of just the best guess that I can. Steel man, hence, right? It's like the moment I ran my own thing, just based on what I've heard, you know, their childhood, how their childhood impacted them, their adolescence, what was happening at those times back in the 1960s and 70s when they were, you know, growing up, or like whatever social injustices and stuff, right? I tried to like throw that all in there, right? Things I've never experienced before, but I just tried to imagine it to the best of my ability. Steel man, no, not straw man. I tried to imagine like the social pressures or like the financial pressures. I tried to cook it all in there. Like how would that stress me in this direction, that would then lead to like this action and then this action that would then lead to like the next year and the next year after that, and then oh, here comes the kid and so forth. And I'll say this, there won't be any guarantee that after you get a sense of forgiveness towards a certain person, there's no guarantee that you'll actually like them. There's people with that thinking that I've been able to forgive, so that now I don't like feel this constant desire to want to fucking choke their trachea out of their fucking body and smash it with a fucking hammer, right? There's plenty of people I no longer feel that desire, right? However, it doesn't mean that I suddenly like them. You know, they don't affect me. but I just don't prefer to be in their presence anyways. Let's put it that way. So, but I'd rather take that all day long. Just a slight dislike over that grudge mentality. That thing that just brews like no other thing. So that's what I have for how to forgive 101. So, rather than just saying, hey, just forgive somebody because you're going to feel better, it's like, hey, identify somebody that, is like living rent free in your head that you want to like fucking grab an axe and chop them in half, but you don't do that because you don't want to end up in jail, which is, don't do that, all right? There's no need. Attempt to best steel man their whole life trajectory from birth all the way up till those moments of impact, or if it's years upon impact, just years upon impact. Imagine yourself as them, fully them, rationalizing and thinking as them in a way where everything makes sense from their lens. Everything from not yours, their lens, their lens. And as a bonus, because this might help, some people it might not help to even do that, because like you just may have enough like of your own ideas and preconceived notions that'll just prevent you from even considering the idea of imagining you as them, fully them, with none of your own thoughts kind of leaking into the scenario. As a bonus, as this may help, read up as much as you can of psychology. Do that. And if you're skeptical about that, read it from different authors, from different backgrounds, from different upbringings. Do that. If that's not enough, how about this? I don't condone or endorse, taking information from your own bubble. But if for some reason, you only trust, I don't know, people who do research who are religious, how about this? There's plenty of religious researchers that do things on psychology. Let's say you are you doubt the idea of a researcher that's religious sounds weird to you. No, they got to be more non-belief. That's cool. There's plenty of those too. Oh, even better yet, how about this? Why don't you cross-reference both parties? How about that? Get the information about human psychology from people of all walks of life. See how that hits different. They're not all going to agree, but on the things that they do agree, you're going to be. It's very eye-opening. It's very eye-opening. And that's it. That's it. All right. And I'm going to leave it at that. So hopefully that helps. And that's it. I'm gone. Until next time.